Building a household budget right now feels nearly impossible, mostly because your everyday costs are moving in opposite extreme directions. If you look at the baseline macroeconomic data, things appear relatively calm. The February report for the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, a metric that tracks the average change in prices paid by urban consumers, shows overall inflation holding steady at 2.4%. But an average only exists by flattening out the extremes. We are currently living in a split economy where the steady headline number completely masks violent price swings happening beneath the surface. This comparison table shows exactly how deceptive that 2.4% headline rate is. On one side, specific daily necessities are spiking, like grocery store steaks jumping 16.3%. On the other side, certain categories are collapsing entirely, like egg prices dropping 42.1% over the exact same period. Because individual items are behaving this erratically, traditional flat-rate budgeting is useless. You cannot simply increase or decrease your entire monthly spending limit by a flat percentage when your actual costs are entirely fractured. Instead, you have to execute a targeted spring 2026 budget audit to identify exactly which price hikes you have to absorb, what items you need to substitute, and where you can aggressively cut. Surviving this split economy requires systematically hunting down the categories that are getting cheaper and deliberately routing those exact savings to cover the hidden spikes. Let's start with the grocery sector. These are your high-frequency purchases, and right now, they are the primary drain on your disposable income. Several daily staples are carrying severe double-digit price hikes. Coffee is up 18.4% from a year earlier. Steaks have climbed 16.3%, and lettuce and ground beef are both up over 15%. The exact same cart of groceries you did 12 months ago, you are mathematically absorbing a 15 to 18% stealth penalty on your baseline weekly food costs. To defend your cash flow against that penalty, you have to look for the single largest price drop in the entire CPI report. This quadrant chart plots financial impact against personal effort. Egg prices have plummeted 42.1% year over year, placing them firmly in the upper right as the ultimate deflationary protein substitute. There is a direct trade-off here. Capturing a 40% discount requires the daily friction of actively altering your dietary routines and changing how you prep your meals. Stubbornly clinging to your previous menu will rapidly deplete your household budget. Active dietary substitution is a mandatory defense for the budget-conscious. Outside of the grocery aisles, there are hidden deflationary pockets in the digital and services sectors that you can leverage to subsidize your food bill. Consumer hardware costs are steadily falling. Specifically, smartphone prices have dropped 13.9% year over year. We see similar relief in apparel and services. Men's suits, sport coats, and outerwear are down 6.1%. Tax preparation services and health insurance are also cheaper now than they were a year ago. The strategy here is proactive auditing. By renegotiating or switching your annual contracts, like wireless telephone services, which are down 4.3%, you lock in structural deflation. The catch is that capturing this value requires a high-friction one-time investment. You have to research new providers, migrate your data, and navigate customer service calls. If you skip that optimization, you are highly susceptible to the streaming trap. Over the past year, streaming services have quietly surged 15.2%. Looking back at our quadrant chart, ignoring auto-renewals on streaming platforms bleeds the exact cash flow you might save elsewhere. Canceling those subscriptions takes almost zero effort, but yields an immediate, high-impact return. Managing your digital subscriptions is no longer optional housekeeping. It is a vital mechanism to generate the liquidity needed to fund the rising costs of physical goods. There is one sector where traditional budgeting is uniquely vulnerable: energy. It is highly susceptible to real-time geopolitical shocks. The February CPI report noted gasoline prices were down about 7.5%. For 13 straight weeks, the national average sat below $3 a gallon, creating a false sense of financial security for daily commuters. By March 1st, that security vanished. The Iran conflict severely disrupted global oil markets, making the February data instantly obsolete. The immediate fallout broke standard monthly budgets. The national average gas price spiked 60 cents in just over a week, with every single state moving above $3 and 6 states topping $4. That squeeze extends to your home as well. Piped gas utility services are up 10.9% over the past year. If you budget your utilities and fuel strictly based on trailing 30-day data, you leave zero margin for error when a real-world crisis hits. Energy and transportation budgets cannot be static. They demand a dedicated financial buffer specifically designed to absorb unavoidable supply chain volatility. You cannot control the global coffee markets or international oil conflicts. You can only control your financial exposure to them. This decision flowchart maps out your next steps, depending entirely on your immediate financial stability. If your priority is to protect your baseline cash flow, your action plan is immediate triage. Cancel your streaming services today and pivot your grocery protein from beef to eggs. You accept the daily friction of a restricted menu and fewer entertainment options in exchange for absolute, necessary budgetary safety. If you have a financial cushion and want to maximize dollar efficiency, your path requires a different kind of work. Dedicate time this month to renegotiate your structural costs, call your telecom provider, audit your health insurance, and shop around for cheaper tax prep services. You endure the administrative friction of paperwork and phone calls exactly once, generating passive monthly savings that subsidize your preferred lifestyle moving forward. In a split economy, financial security belongs to the people who actively exploit the price drops to fund the unavoidable price spikes.